Alright, so today just coming out on the garage, and I know I was mentioning putting the drain for the turbo in the front cover of the motor, and I believe it is Armchair Mechanic Network. He brought up a good point about just putting it in the oil pan, because just getting it away from the serpentine belt and everything. So plan today is I'm going to install the motor and engine mounts that I have. Well, at least the engine mounts. I don't know how UMI has them. I think they might have the engine mounts for the ones that go on the block, and then the motor mounts, the ones that go on the frame. So I'm going to be getting the motor mounts installed just to give me a rough estimate on where the oil pan will sit, because right now I'm thinking it'll sit somewhere around here, but I want to be sure. So what I'm gonna do is get the motor mounts on the frame, and then I could base off where the engine mounts will go on where the oil pan will sit and where the frame will be, and then I'll go back and mark where I'll have to put the bung on for the drain. So I'm originally thinking it's there, but after looking at it, I think I might have to move it back to about here. So I know somewhere up here would be ideal, closer to the front, but like here, there's plenty of room to drill and weld it on. But with the newer one, it's a lot shallower. So if I did put it there, won't be a lot of room to play with. You'd have to have it exact. So here would be a good spot, but I think right here would be real close to the frame. We'll see. If not, I'll go back here on one of these flat surfaces. But that's it for that. Finally got the tool in for the spring compressor, or for the valve spring compressor. I got that in. That one's actually free. It didn't arrive on time, so I requested a refund. They refunded me the money. I ordered a different one, more of that style. That one's in. I just haven't checked the mailbox yet. Got that. But let me show you the motor mounts and engine mounts. So they go with UMI, comes with all the hardware and everything. I think the motor mounts are universal. I'll put up which one it is, because I know they describe, I think that's the motor mount, and they say that's the engine mount. So I'm kind of glad I did order like this, because I thought originally the red one was the one that went on the block, but this one will go on the frame and the black will go on the block. So they'll separate a little bit. It'd be black on the frame, motor mount, engine mount, then red on the block. So it's not going to be red on red and black on black. It's going to separate a little bit. But that's just, those are poly. I was looking at the solid ones, but I think the poly ones are going to be a lot better for a street car. Online it tells you, well, let me do this. You have passenger top and driver top stamped on the other one. So this is passenger top. Online it shows you which holes are supposed to be used for the G body and F bodies. I think there's two different ones for F bodies depending on the year, and then the G bodies, I believe, is this one. And then I think these two are universal, so you'll use these two and this one for G bodies. I'll have to double check. Just give me a second. I'll pull it up real quick. So yeah, that's kind of how it looks. I'll screenshot it and put it in the video, but it tells you which holes to use. And then it'll show you which holes on the frame to use also for the G body and F bodies. So yeah, once I figure that out, like I said, I'll have to grab the hardware and figure out which holes on the frame line up. I'll point it out once I figure it out, and then just pretty much line it up. That's going to show me where the motor mounts are going to be, and then once I figure that out, I'll be able to figure out where exactly on the block it's going to sit and hit the frame or clear the frame, and then I'll mark where I need to drill a hole for the bung and get that welded on. That's probably all I'll do in this video. I'll keep it real short. And then since I did get the tool in, I'll see if this one works. If not, I'll have to go check the mailbox and grab the other style and get started on the heads, because I'm trying to get at least the block buttoned up. It's probably be December, so try to get the block all buttoned up in December. So the parts I need, I'll have to go get a pulley or balancer removal tool. So I'll get this off, so I get the front cover off, swap out the cam, get that all put back. I did borrow the installer from a buddy, so I just need the puller. So once I get that off, I'll be able to take the front cover off, get everything done I need up there. I still need to order head gaskets and the head bolts, so still need to order those. Once those are in, should be able to get the block buttoned back up, get the heads on, everything installed. Still trying to debate on the intake. So I think I want to go with the fabricated sheet metal intake. I know it robs a little bit of power, but I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, I think I just need to order head gaskets, head bolts, and then the water pump and the spacers, because I think I'm going to use the LS1 water pump, just so that I know if the truck water pump, it gets in the way if you get a lower intake or a car style intake. So the LS1 intake, and then I think you need what is it, a 3/4 inch spacer. I think that comes with it, with the gaskets also, so I'll have to do that. And then I did pick up just a used alternator. It was 50% off when we went to go look at that Corvette. That was all burnt up, so I picked up that just for mock-up purposes. But if it's good, I'll run it. But I'm gonna keep the truck style accessories, so I'm gonna keep all this bracket. I'm gonna clean it up eventually, paint it. But here, I know they have a idler arm relocator, so this, I believe, gets relocated here. Is it either here or here? Relocated in one of these spots, and then this tab actually gets cut for clearance, and then you use the same alternator bracket. So the idler would be moved here, this tab would be cut off, and that'll give enough clearance for a car style intake. And then I have to find, I think I looked it up on one of the forums. It has the belt I need on it, so that all should be good. So that's the plan on what's needed for the block, and I'm making a mess. But let me clean this up, and then I'll get to installing the motor mounts. Alright, so everything laid out. Got all the nuts and bolts and washers all separated, so tells you how you're supposed to do it. Put the bolt, washer, and then on the other side be washer, lock nut, and then the nut. It does come with 2 extras, because in the description it gives you a location. You could actually drill some extra holes if you want to. I said, I'm not sure how this is going to pick up on the camera, but it's pretty much, it gives you a printout on paper. Found it a lot easier just to look it up online, because the paper one's black and white. This one is actually in color, so tell you your universal holes to use. So it'd be these top two. So these ones will be used if it's G body or F body. So you use these two. Then you go down to the G body one, which is the black one. So that'd be this one right here. So you use these two, and then this one for the G bodies. Then if you scroll down a little bit more, it'll tell you which holes to use. And from the picture, I know it's gonna be upside down, but you use this one down here, and whatever one this one lines up with. So I believe it's this one down here, this one right here, and it might be this one. But you can see once you line those, the two universal ones up. So you got that one down there, and then that's right, it'd be that one right there. So I'll drop these on, and I might try to snug them up. I know it says torque them down to 35 foot-pounds for these. So I'll get this in place. I'll get the other one in place, put all the bolts in there, and it's going to be difficult to get in there a little bit, but I'm going to make it happen to get the nuts on. But I think online it suggests that it makes it easier if you take the lower control arms off, which these are the shocks and springs. So there's no way I'm taking those back off just to tighten up these bolts. I'm going to just work with it. But like I said, that hole, and then this one that's kind of slotted. There's going to be a little play in there, but that's just to get everything lined up. And if you wanted to, you could always drill a hole here to get the fourth bolt in there. Like I said, it comes with 2 extra ones, so I don't think you need to use all 4 unless you want to. Might throw a little anti-seize on there. But that's the plan. Get these on, and then that'll give me an idea on where the motor's going to sit and where the oil pan's going to be blocked by the frame, or where it's going to be open. So let me throw all this stuff on, and I'll cut you guys back on. Alright, so coming over to the driver's side, just trying to find the bolt layout. It'll be this third one in. So be this third one in. Of course, this slotted one at the bottom, and then it looks like, where's that? It's like this one right here. So you have these two, and it'll be this third one. So this third one, that third one in, and then this slotted one at the bottom. So yeah, I'll throw this one on, just get it mocked up. That one just has one of them tightened down. I'll come back in the morning and tighten the other ones down. Like I said, it's difficult to get to with the control arms in. If they wear out, it'd be real easy to get to. But when I'm noticing, I'm going to have to go in. I don't know why the camera's acting like that right now. There we go. So I'm going to go through that side hole right up there, try to get the washers and the nut started, and then same thing at the bottom. I'm just going to have to get creative. So I either need some longer needle nose pliers or something magnetic. I got that little grabber right there. That's helped out a lot, but I dropped a couple of the washers, so I'm about to fish them out. I think they're sitting either inside the frame or in the control arm, so I'm about to get those. But yeah, just going to position this side. So get that side positioned, and then I'll get a guesstimate on where the oil pan is going to sit, and we'll go from there. Alright, so it's going to be close. Of course, there's a little bit of play in there, but have the motor mounts in position, and then the engine mount is in position. If you look online, it says a notch, so there's a little notch in there. It says that's the top of the mount, so you want that one facing up. Then what I'll do is, to get the position of the oil pan, I'll just use the mounting holes on the block and probably draw a line on, where's that? So, probably be easier to show it on here. So, I'll use these mounting holes where the engine mount will go. And then I'll probably base it off of the bolt holes and just get a rough estimate on the distance between the two. And then I'll just transfer that over and mark where the frame's going to be on the oil pan and where it's going to be clear. So I'll do that real fast. It's probably about 4-inch gap, so about 2 inches from the two center bolt holes in the oil pan. So that's kind of where I use my mark on where the motor mount is going to be, and then see where the frame lines up on that. Alright, so I was wrong. I had it marked about here earlier. Now to put it right in the middle of where it would have mounted. So the frame is going to be pretty much right along here is where the frame will be. So anything between, I would say, anything between these 3 bolts is going to be the frame. So if you have room in front of this bolt, you'll be good. But like I said, it's right on the edge on if that would fit or not. And then depending on how you drill it, you probably just run a crack around here, so you'd have to weld that back up. So it's possible to run it up that far, but then again, that's pretty solid too. So guess you could get away with it if you wanted to, depending on how much you want to drill and take that risk of it cracking along here. But figured anywhere between these last 2 holes up high will be okay. Like I said, that's about a 1/4 inch thick. Yeah, 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick, more like 1/4. But you get that right below this lip in here. So you see that lip? I think if you drill it right below that lip and then weld that in, that'd be a good spot for the drain. So that's what I'm gonna go with, and that's how. That really didn't help, just it being an awkward angle. Let's try to place it in there and get an eyeball for where it will hit. And that's judging that the frame mounts are all the way up. If they are back, you probably could get away with putting it in this section, but just for ease, just throw it back there. And that way, if you need to slide it a little bit, you don't have to worry about it hitting. You have enough room. But that's pretty much how I'm gonna do it. So I'm not sure if it'll be tomorrow or next week. Take it over to my buddy's house. He has a TIG welder for the aluminum. So we'll get that welded on, and then that's just one more step. Like I said, just a lot going on, I know. But I have to go and fish in on, try to figure out how I'm gonna get those washers and the nuts on the back sides of these bolts. But for the most part, showed you guys the bolt holes to use and how I'll go in. I think you're going to torque these to about 35 foot-pounds, I believe. And then these, once the motor and everything's in, I think go to 60. But that'll be later on. I might throw the engine mounts on the block for now just to get them on there and get rid of some boxes. But yeah, that's it. It's coming along. It's looking good under there. I know there's a bunch of trash I need to clean up, but you guys get the idea. It's coming along. Get the black and red on that white. So yeah, if you have any questions, like I said, I always say it. If there's anything I haven't done yet that you guys want to see me pay more attention to when I get to it. Just let me know in the comments. And when I get around to it, I'll try to focus a little bit more on it. But for the most part, that's it. I'm just gonna have to find a couple of the washers I dropped and get those installed all the way. But it looks good. Look even better if it wasn't so dusty. But we're getting there.